What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hope your weekend's off to a great start. Gorgeous, sunshiny morning after really a rainy, blah day yesterday, but a gorgeous, sunshiny day here. A little cold in Baton Rouge, but LSU basketball, they are bounced from the SEC basketball tournament. They lose to Arkansas for the third time this year. So Tigers are home and they await their fate tomorrow on Selection Sunday. So we will see. We'll see where the Tigers' fate will land on Selection Sunday when the committee makes their makes the bracket, or reveals the bracket, I should say. If you're wondering, so like at this point, Lenardi updates bracketology like every day as the conference tournaments continue to go. So still, despite A&M's win yesterday over Auburn, still has A&M not in the first four out, but the first team of the next four out, so the fifth team out of the field. So A&M still has some work to do, according to Lenardi, if they want to get in. All the other SEC teams that you would expect are in, the six are in. And Lenardi has LSU on a 6 line today. So yesterday had them as a 5. So clearly they were the last of the 5s. They lost. But it's not so much necessarily just an LSU loss. You have to consider what else is going on around the tournament. So it's got LSU as a 6 seed in the South. So they'd be playing in San Diego, which would be gorgeous if they get that opportunity. So that would be fantastic. If LSU, like we've talked about it so much, just avoid that 8-9 game, which it's pretty clear LSU has avoided that 8-9 game. Let's see what the committee says, if it's a 5 or a 6, and then they'll roll, see what they can do. Okay, let's say some good mornings. Hope y'all, LSU baseball yesterday wins. They beat Bethune-Cookman. It was not easy. Blake Money was cruising through 4, fell apart, and then left the game with what Jay Johnson says a wrist injury. So they'll get treatment. They'll wrap it for a few days, see if he can get back out there. But it didn't look good when it happened. So, but Tigers managed to win it. They're back on the field today at. I know they play at 1 and 2. Can't remember if it's 1 then 2 or 2 then 1. Probably 2 o'clock today, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, 2 o'clock today, then 1 o'clock tomorrow for baseball. All right, let's say some good mornings here. What's up, Brandon? Good morning. E-Rock and Drew are sleeping. Aaron Hornsby, Merrick Mathern, Michael Costello, Ultimate Warrior. What's up? Brandon number 2. What's up, peeps? Baseball errors continue to hurt us badly. Pray Money isn't seriously injured. So, I mean, full disclosure, with the show yesterday and then baseball playing at the same time as basketball, I was casually looking at baseball and wasn't locked in. The Tigers were only charged with 1 error yesterday. And I believe it was on McManus. Checking. I'm fairly certain the error was on McManus. LSU, by the way, their website sucks. Like the website they went to, this new format, WMT or something, no one else uses this format, and it's so bad. It's anyway, very hard to navigate, not easy. The error was. Did they really not list the error? How do you not have who committed the error in the box score? God bless. I don't know if that's like an intentional thing because they feel like they're calling out their player or whatever, but like, dang, man, you gotta, whatever. Anyway, they only committed 1 error, so I don't know how good or poor the defense was yesterday otherwise. Trivia Carter, good morning. So what do they say about it's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same year? Well, that's mostly in football. In the NFL, they say that. Tigers ran out the building in Tampa yesterday. Yes, they were. It's kind of the thing about you play in a tournament like that. Just playing in consecutive days. Does it help you? Does it hurt you? Are you tired? I don't know that I always buy that. I think when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, there's dudes that go run the floor and play pickup ball every single day. I don't know that I necessarily believe like you have no legs and you can't go play back-to-back days. Maybe there's something to it, whatever. But LSU was seemingly controlling the pace of the game in the first half. J.D. Note only had 5 points. Went to the bench with 2 fouls. Jalen Williams did not score in the first half, and it looked like LSU was going to go to the break with the lead. Then we all know what happened. Will Wade got the technical. Arkansas gets 2 shots and the ball. They score. LSU turns it over. Arkansas gets a shot at the buzzer to fall, and what looked like it was going to be an LSU lead at the break ended up being an LSU 3-point deficit at the break. And then Arkansas just kind of blitzed them in the second half. So, but that definitely changed the momentum. Cliff Nelson, good morning, Callie. Hi. Ryan Rogers, good morning. Maggie's can't get into the dance. The Texas A&M Maggies. Let's see. They were speculating something like a blister. His arm was dangling like he was protecting it. That ain't no blister. Exactly. Like I know on the broadcast, somebody told me on the broadcast they said it might have been a blister, but there was not a blister. After the game, Jay Johnson said it was his wrist. So Eddie Burgard, good morning. Let's see, not excited about the baseball win last night. Feel like Blue bailed us out. I mean, you still got to hit the baseball. And that's the encouraging thing right now and I mean, Jay told us that before the year. He said this is a team that's probably going to play in some long games. You're going to probably have to score a lot of runs and use a lot of pitchers as a formula. Huh? They did. I mean, Doty homered, Barry homered, Cruz homered. You rallied from a 4-run deficit, so you still had to hit the baseball. Let's see. Jump over, say good morning to some of these Facebook peeps. Appreciate y'all for being here. Smash that like button on YouTube, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Clifford Moore. What did Dari Cruz say about Will Wade right at halftime? I thought they said something. I was like, WTF. It was Carl Ravitch and Jimmy Dykes on the call that were essentially mocking Will Wade, and then as they threw it to Dari on the set, he basically took the baton and continued doing so. Catherine Babineau, Kenneth Kyle, Matt, are you going to get on Truth Social? I don't know what Truth Social is. Anthony Vento, the technical foul before halftime changed the game. It definitely changed the momentum, but you had an entire second half to get right, and you didn't. If you go into the locker room and you can't come out in the second half and let that affect you for the next 20 minutes, that's more on you than it is on the technical. Brian Jones, I don't have Twitter. I did make it through the whole episode of Scone and Tea. Great show, Vintage Batters. Thank you, Brian. Robbie Welburn, good morning. Hope y'all are well. Stay warm up there. Thank you, Robbie. Hey, Dad, good morning. Brandon Jordan. Why didn't Sharif travel with the team? I'm not sure, Brandon. I don't know if I even saw anything reported about that yesterday. I'm not sure. Bob Poole, any word on money, wrist? That's what Jay Johnson said after the game. And some may say, like, oh, well, that didn't look like a wrist. The way Jay said it after the game, I mean, he said Corey Couture, the trainer, he said Corey by name, and he said, Corey came up to me and said, this is not a big deal. Like, those were Jay's exact words. So, I mean, it wasn't just like, I'll play it off. It's different when you actually put the trainer's name on it and put his reputation on it. You know what I mean? It felt different. So hopefully it's not serious. Jerry DeLucky headed to New Orleans to march in the Irish Channel Parade. There you go. All right, Jerry DeLucky, have a great day, man. Get my parasols, get you a roast beef po' boy and a cold beer. Sounds like a good day. Mark Dubé, good morning. Brian Jones, interesting take on the quarterback transfer coming in. I think Brennan should stay until after spring to compete because he will have to wherever he goes. So, Brian, I do think Brennan's going to stay until spring. I mean, spring starts in 10 days. So, I mean, I think he's going to stay through spring anyway. But I think he will leave after spring, and I don't think where he goes he'll have to compete. Like, if he were going to end up at Southern Miss, he was going there to start day one because Southern Miss is kind of trash. So, like, he would have been a step in, no doubter, day one. You're here. You are here to play quarterback right now, and that's what he would do because that's what he's looking for is that opportunity to play, to get on the field. I mean, if he's gonna go somewhere and compete, just stay here. Jonathan Martin, good morning. Rodeyul, good morning. Defense looked a lot better yesterday. Jay made 2 very good plays at, I guess you mean Jordan Thompson at shortstop. Yeah, the error was a throw error on McManus. So I was pretty sure it was on McManus. Jarrett Weber, good morning. Looks like Jacob Berry is the real deal. Jarrett, I'm going to tell you this, and keep an eye on this. The homer yesterday came from the left side. I have not seen his lefty-righty splits, but I would guess, and I have not seen it, I would guess he is hitting sub 200 from the right side, and he's probably above 400 from the left side. It is so apparent that he has a shorter, more compact swing and just crushes the baseball from the left side. I can't imagine why he would ever bat from the right side. I know there are some scouts that value that, the ability to switch hit. But man, when you were just clearly so much better from one side than the other, I don't know why you would ever flip around and play on the other side and hit from the other side. Kenny Fontenot, good morning. Throw an arrow and catch you. I'll make man's. Yeah, but so I'm gonna be curious to see when they get Milazzo back. Hopefully it's not too long. But just defensively, he's just a next level type player. Stephen Fry, good morning. Brian Jones, is Morgan going to stay at first base the whole season? Brian, I would think so. I mean, I know they worked him some in the outfield, and we've talked about that before. At the next level, he's not a first baseman. Nobody puts an athletic guy like that at first base. Nobody. He's an outfielder at the next level. So, but for this team, if Jay thinks that Trey Morgan at first base saves him a run a game, I keep him there. Considering the options you have in the outfield. Catherine Babineau, Dax Jeter, thoughts on Wade's Tech. Talked about it. Look, the game flow wasn't the same after that, but that's as much on LSU as anything. Like, there's coaches get technicals all the time, and you have to use that, channel it, whatever you want to do. To say that that's the reason that they stunk for the entire second half is just not. That's just, come on. As far as getting the technical itself, Will said after the game that he asked the ref why there were 20 seconds on the shot clock, and that's why I teed him up. Now they said what was said before that and all. Okay, so maybe it was a compilation of things, and like the next time Will opened his mouth, he was going to tech. I have a problem with the official blowing the whistle. Coaches chirp, coaches yell throughout every game. They ride officials. They try to influence calls. That's part of what a coach does on a game day. The reality is Will Wade is, he's just treated differently. He's young, he's brash, he's not well liked, and the way he conducts himself during a game rubs a lot of people wrong. And so he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt on a lot of those calls. Period. New discussion. I just have a gigantic problem with officials making that call that completely influences the game, because, like, the technical foul should be a means to control the game, right? If you have a coach that's like in a ref's face, will not stop, is being belligerent, is on the floor, like, and now all of a sudden the flow of the game is disrupted. Like, now, okay, use that as a means. If you have two players that are like fighting, okay, or one player that's being super aggressive and fighting, like, okay, yes. If you need to use that to control the game, fine. If a coach says, it was chirping from the sideline, or says something to the effect of, why are there 20 seconds of the shot clock, to call a technical foul there, to give a team 2 shots and the ball, is just, it's absurd. Like, it did disrupt the flow of the game. Now, it's on LSU for never getting it back, but I just, that's not just this game isolated. That's just basketball as a general rule. I mean, there are times where coaches decide, I'm going to get a technical foul. Like, I'm going to yell at this person until they tee me up because I need to prove a point. Same in baseball. There are managers that will go out and they will say, like, they know they are going out to get tossed, and they are going to yell at the umpire until they get tossed. Like, that's their objective. And in that instance, okay. But for something like yesterday, I don't know if this is exactly the question you were asking me, but that's my feeling on the whole thing. Eddie Burgard, what's up? Good morning. Taz, good morning. If the Saints do get involved in the Watson sweepstakes, I would ask for Brandon Cooks also. We will not have a first-round pick. Okay, I'm good with that. Good bringing Brandon Cooks back. I haven't looked at his contract, but I'd be good with that. If it were Deshaun Watson, Brandon Cook, and maybe like Cooks in like a mid-round pick, and you send 3 1s, 3 2s, a couple of a 3 and a couple of players, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Jeez. Keith H, good morning, Matt. What's good? Didn't your coaches always tell you to hustle? Just do it. Okay. Here is the Hudco hustle this morning. Roofing. Changed it up on y'all today. Got the sign involved. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. We're actually roofing this morning. Roofing Ryan Clark's house this morning. So our crews got started early. They're over at RC's house doing his re-roof from storm damage. So y'all, we're still doing roofs from Ida. I mean, every single day. There's people who had damage from Ida, and it's going to be a years long process getting to everybody. But give us a shout, HudcoRoofing.com. And of course, Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Need an orthopedist? After Hours Clinic is open today, so get on by Brock. Rapping Batches, your fave 5 head. Good morning from LA. All right. Up there in La, it's early, huh? 7:30. Let's see, Brandon, thanks for that, Scone. I didn't hear Johnson's presser about it being a risk. You got it. Apollo Balboa, 1985. Matt, what are the odds LSU will have a new basketball coach next season? I don't know. If you're asking me in a literal sense, what are the odds? It probably better than 50-50. I think it's really just going to come down to. So Will Wade, I think, is salvageable. I do. As I mentioned before, Bruce Pearl and Bill Self, their programs were involved in this same investigation, and they've kept their jobs. So Will Wade is salvageable. I think the real question is, does Scott Woodward want him to be? Or does he want to bring in his own guy? And if he does, when this process plays out, this whole LSU's response, the NCAA, all the hearing, everything, when you get a final ruling on this, that's ultimately when Scott will make a decision. Trey Guy, good morning. Brown Bear 765, good morning. But our first house this week, congratulations, man. That's awesome. What a great feeling. Now you get to pay a mortgage. But congratulations, that's great. Brandon, let's see. Thompson made a phenomenal play. He had an easy ground ball. If Morgan didn't jump 3 feet off the ground to catch it, might have been in the bleachers. Cajun Merck, hopefully these officials in the tournament will be better than the trash we have in the SEC. Got bad news for you. Officials really all across all college basketball aren't very good. Taz, how would you feel about the Pelicans bringing in Rondo to start a point guard? Not a scorer, but he's a true point guard that knows how to set up players. I mean, look, Rondo, we got to see playoff Rondo in New Orleans, with 2018. And he certainly helped facilitate with that team with AD on it. And I'll put it to you this way. I like this team how it is, actually. I like the chemistry. I like... hang on one second. I like the chemistry of this team. They really like Jose Alvarado. I mean, he's a guy that belongs on an NBA floor. I mean, they like him a lot. And if you're looking for the veteran guard that's not a scorer, you've already got Garrett Temple on this team. His minutes have obviously gone away since they acquired C.J. McCollum. But I'm good with how it is right now, man. I wouldn't mess with the flow of this team, which you need more than anything. I know losing last night again sucks, but I mean, you're without. I mean, you had the game in Denver won, and then you lose Ingram, and now you lose McCollum. So you're playing without your two best players. You're already without Zion. I mean, it's hard enough to win in the NBA. I mean, how do you expect to go out there and beat good teams without your best players? He gave up 142 points last night. If there's one thing I'd say it's the most concerning, it's that you score 120, but you lose by 22 points. The defense is just completely gone. So that's more what I want to see. Let me see, get McCollum and BI back and see what it looks like with those guys. Merrick Bethurn. I don't think money's done for the year, Merrick. It certainly didn't sound like that. Carl the Cat, Saints restructuring contracts left and right. They have to, Carl. I mean, that's how they're going to get under the cap. Brandon, it was awesome seeing Fontenot have an easy ninth inning, no drama. Yeah, man. And he said after the game, too, he said, look, my appearances in Houston weren't up to my standard. He wanted to come out and kind of prove a point. And he did that. Like, I know we talk a lot about Fontenot starting this year, and I really thought they'd give him that, that opportunity. But I heard Jay say this week they like Devin in high leverage situations. He's done that throughout his career. So it's kind of just an approach. Like, Terrio brought up the point yesterday. Well, does it really, if you don't get off to a good start, do you even get into high leverage situations at the end of the game? But it's a chicken or the egg type conversation. What does a good start matter if you can't finish it? So, I don't know. I mean, I trust the coaching staff to know best their players, their personnel, how they want to use them, Excuse me. Ooh. All right. Where are we? Kenneth Kyle, good morning. Samuel Merrifield, update on Coleman's injury. He's done for the year, buddy. Dax Jeter, I think it was the same crew as the last game against Arkansas. The technical was a long time coming. Stephen Fry, it's the old lady's birthday. It's the old lady's birthday today, so I'm risking my life on morning scale right now. Well, thank you, Stephen Fry, for risking your life. Tell me your name. We'll give her a shout out. Brian Jones, whatever happened to Josh Smith, shortstop from a few years ago? Did he finish his career? No, he's in the Rangers organization. So Josh Smith is he's drafted by the Yankees organization, got traded to the Rangers organization, and is in Texas, somewhere in Texas right now. Brian Wynn, Georgia, Missouri will be looking at a new men's basketball coach. Did you see any more changes in the conference? Florida, if you're looking for the possibility, Florida, Ole Miss could be. Florida's going to miss the tournament. Ole Miss had their worst season in forever. So something that would be interested, of course, is Mike White went to Ole Miss. Could Ole Miss maybe fire Kermit and then hire Mike White from Florida? That would be interesting. Aaron Hornsby, please don't make me nightcap those zebras. David Coslin, good morning. Tony Williams, great coaches are usually not liked. Nick Saban, Bobby Knight, guys like that. That's not true, Tony. I've heard people say that. You can be a great coach and be like, Mike Krzyzewski is well liked. He's a great coach. Dabo Sweeney is a great coach who's well liked. Guys like Tony Dungy is a great coach who's like. There's plenty of examples. Like you don't have to be a trying to use morning Scone language and not nightcap with Scone language. You understand my point. Jack Dupree, I can imagine RC standing outside watching y'all the whole time. I don't think so, bro. I think RC it's probably the exact opposite. Dax Jeter, how different would this basketball team be if they had someone who could knock down a three when you absolutely have to have it? That's the thing, man. Like, Stephen Curry isn't on every team, right? But yeah, I mean, that guy was Adam Miller. I mean, Adam Miller was supposed to be the guy when you need a bucket, you give him the ball, he go get you a bucket. That was the guy on this team. You didn't have him all year. And I know we keep talking about that, but it's true. It doesn't do you any good to complain about it because it's just what it is. But yeah, I mean, he was supposed to be that guy on this team. And that guy just doesn't exist on most basketball teams. Dax Jeter, the extend Will Wade sign was great yesterday. See, when they show that, then the TV crew starts basically mocking Will Wade. They're like, did Will Wade hand that guy that sign? Like, that's not your role. That's not your role to take shots. You're doing the broadcast for ESPN, for the SEC Network. Like, shut your face and call the game. Like, to continuously bring up the NOA on the broadcast, it's just... I mean, I could go back and watch the Auburn broadcast yesterday. I'm going to guess at no point did Carl Ravitch and Jimmy Dykes mention that Bruce Pearl was fired from Tennessee for violations and then also was in the midst of this FBI investigation in the whole FBI scandal as well when Chuck Person got fired. I'm going to guess they didn't mention that on that broadcast. Come on. Be better. Brant Roban, more than that, 4 inches of snow in Knoxville overnight. Oh, wow. And yeah, man, it seems like Blake Money's okay. They said it was a wrist. Chance Babbitt, did y'all announce the Rougarou manager? Yes, Ronnie Rance came on yesterday and did announce Wes Terrio. So Ryan's brother Wes, who's the head coach at Dunham, is going to manage the Baton Rouge Rougarou, the collegiate summer wooden bat league in town. So that'd be a lot of fun, man. Patrick Cason, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see, YouTube, do me a favor, smash that like button. 80 watching, only 24 likes. If we can get those likes up, that'd be great. 46 here on Facebook, so we've got over 100 people watching, which is great. Appreciate y'all very much. Excuse me. Let's see, will the Saints only target Honey Badger if we lose Marcus Williams? Why can't we have both and cut Old Man Jenkins? I think that's a possibility, Taz, I do. I think we've talked about that Malcolm Jenkins is a very real possibility for a cap casualty. Possibility. Not a likelihood, possibility, if they need it. And, you know, I'd be cool with Marcus Williams, Tyrann Mathieu, but the thing I would tell you is keep in mind, it may be tough to re-sign Marcus Williams. You know, if Marcus Williams and Teron Armstead are just seeking the most money, the biggest contract, and they want to hit free agency, the Saints aren't going to be the highest bidder because they can't be the highest bidder. Like they're not going to have the cap space to be the highest bidder. So it's really a matter of what do those guys want. So you could lose them both. Could. We'll know middle of next week, huh? Let's see, what's the temp over there right now? It's 42. It feels like 32 in Biloxi. Yeah, it's something like, it was in the 20s overnight. I don't know what it is right now. Let's see. It's 39 degrees and sunny is what my thermostat says. 39 and sunny. Michael Costello. O'Neal had a death in the family. Grandfather, he was in L.A. Wade said after the Missouri game. Okay. Thanks for clarifying. I did not see that. Taz, how long did it take you to get your bar up to par as it is now? I mean, this is the product of collecting for 5-6 years. You know, you buy, you develop relationships, people gift you things. So years and years, yeah. In 5-6 years, yeah. Saints restructured Lattimore's contract, creating $18 million in cap space. So let's see. Let's look at the Saints salary cap right now. All right, so after the most recent restructures, it puts the Saints, I'm looking at it, at $6.6 million over the cap. That's from Spotrac. So they've still got options. They could restructure Taysom. They could restructure Onyemata. Yeah, they got plenty of options. Shoot, they got plenty of options. They'll have money to spend. Aaron Hornsby, the Zebras suck in college basketball. That's true. But they suck in every sport. Janet Mulkey said she was trying to get tossed at the SEC tournament. Yeah, well, she said she was trying to get the technical at the SEC tournament. She said she was going to get her money's worth, and she was trying to get the technical. And that happens sometimes. Brett Dagro, what's up? Scone, late to the party. Any new info on Blake Money? No, just what Jay Johnson said yesterday. It's a wrist. It doesn't seem serious. Tommy Poole, Tracy Poole, good morning. John Sager, good morning. Ready to focus on baseball? Come on, man. NCAA tournament's just getting started. March Madness. We're going to find out LSU's going to get their name called tomorrow. The women are going to obviously be a 2 seed and host 2 games. Conference play for baseball starts next weekend, though. It's a good time, man. Spring football's right around the corner. Good time. Hey, babe. Okay. Erica's going to wash her hair. Shout out to Brock, y'all, as always. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you're on Facebook, Brock is tagged in the post. Remember, if you need an orthopedist, they're the best. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. BRortho.com, BRortho.com. After Hours Clinic is open today and always on weekends. So if you need an orthopedist, bypass the ER. Get by Brock today. John Sager, Matt, just had Heaven Hill 7-year. Outstanding. Heaven Hill makes some great stuff, man. Eric, if our defense bad enough that it breaks your bunting rules? I feel like I'm almost auto bunting with runners on to forces to field, calling it what it is. No. You mean an opposing team bunting? No, the only way I'm ever okay with bunting is if you're bunting for a hit or to score a run. That's it. If you're bunting just to advance a runner to second base or third base with less than 2 outs, no, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with giving up the out, ever. Edward O, trade package for Watson. Yeah, I think you'd probably be talking about 3 1s, 3 2s. I mean, look at the Herschel Walker deal. It would be something like that. I mean, just if you look at as a comp for Russell Wilson. All right, let's look at the Russell Wilson deal. So the Russell Wilson deal was all right. All right. The Russell Wilson deal was 2 1s, 2 2s, a 5, and 3 players. 2 1s, 2 2s, a 5, and 3 players. That was for Russell Wilson. Like, if you're going to get Deshaun Watson, you're giving up at least that. 2 1s, 2 2s, a 5, and 3 players. Probably and 5 might be a better pick too, depending on the players you want to give up. But you're going to give up a haul for him, man. Debbie Jenkins, Brant Roban, best golf courses in Baton Rouge. May bring the sticks with me. Yeah, man. You know, I mean, obviously I endorse the Brett courses, and I think they're great. Santa Maria is fantastic. Beaver Creek. Beaver Creek is about 15 minutes north of downtown, so depending on where you're staying, it might be a little bit of a drive, but they've redone it, championship style, driving range, fun course, fun course to play. Those are the 2 I'd recommend. You know, I don't know if you could get on at U Club, but it depends on where you're staying. I would say Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, opposite ends of town, but that's probably the 2 best I would suggest playing. Convenience, I mean, Webb is right there, like off of College Drive. You know, City Park's a 9-hole course right by LSU. So you got options. Depending on, you know, the challenging level you want. So, what are the Saints going to do at quarterback? Hopefully trade for Deshaun Watson. New Orleans Breakers. I like the uniforms. Chance Babin, why does LSU track and field get no love? The most successful program at LSU, definitely the most natties. Because it's not a mainstream sport. Brant Roban, Standard College Drive. Got it. Yeah, so, I mean, for convenience, it would be Webb. If you want to play a championship style course, Santa Maria, Beaver Creek would be your options, just if you want to go, like, southeast or if you want to go north. Is Watson worth mortgaging the future by giving up draft capital? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not, like, this, here, I'll say this again. The Saints have won plenty of games. They can keep doing what they're doing with average quarterback play and good roster talent and win games and never win anything of significance. But if it's about winning in the postseason and getting to a Super Bowl, you need an elite quarterback. Like, look at the teams that are getting there. It's Joe Burrow. It's, Stafford, who's the number one overall pick, obviously. It's Tom Brady. It's Patrick Mahomes. Look at the teams that are in the running, that are right there. Josh Allen in Buffalo. Like, you got to have an elite quarterback that's going to put you over the hump. And might I remind you that the last 2 years, the Saints have used first-round draft picks on Peyton Turner and Cesar Ruiz. How's that worked out for you? Like, yes, I will give up maybes in the draft for an elite quarterback while the rest of my roster is already built around him for a chance to win in this window. And then in 2 years, when you recoup draft capital, then you can start to build through the draft again. But yes, 100% I would do that. Not worried about picks. I'm worried about if I can have a guy who's damn near a 5,000-yard passer 2 years ago on a bad team, threw for 30-plus touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Yes, it's 100% worth it. I don't know why people get so enamored with picks. Like, if you were the Rams, was it worth giving up what you gave up to get Matt Stafford, the picks you gave up to get Matt Stafford and win a Super Bowl? Carl the Cat, what do you think about the new labor deal in MLB? I don't care, Carl. I mean, whatever those sides decide, it just doesn't affect me as a fan at all. I don't care. That's for them to fool with, and I'm just glad they got one done, honestly. It's hard to ask a fan to care about a labor deal, about the specifics of a labor deal. Unless if it's things that affect competitive balance, like if you're adding to the postseason or something. But if you're talking about pension and salary and percentage of this and years till arbitration, like, I don't care. I don't care at all. It doesn't affect me at all. The players should care, and the owner should care, and that's why it went the way it did. But I don't. And I don't think any fan really does. They just want to see baseball. Tommy Poole, Matt, is Jaden Daniels the answer to our inexperienced quarterback room? For this year, he is, for sure. Let's see. Edward O, 3 1s, a 2, and DeMario Davis might do it for Watson. Maybe. Why is Jackson Hayes not a consistent starter? He's a good shot blocker. Because he's been inconsistent throughout his entire career. Living Lambo, Matt, Jay Johnson said a few days ago Coleman and Milazzo are progressing towards health. That's great. I believe Milazzo will be back. So there's no structural damage in his knee, which is great. I don't think we're going to see Javen Coleman this year. Taz, Matt, are your podcasts limited to Saints, LSU, and Pelicans? I think so, yeah, pretty much. Talk about the teams. What do you want me to talk about? Trey, I need some ideas for more email addresses so I can vote. All right, I'll post it again. Thank you, Trey. What Trey is alluding to is that Ya Boy has been nominated again in the Best of 225 for Best Radio Personality. If you care to vote, it just takes a second. I'll post the link. You don't have to live in Baton Rouge or be in Baton Rouge to vote. It's an online voting thing. So if you care to vote, that'd be great. Best Radio Personality. Honored to be nominated again. So thank you, Trey. I appreciate it. Brett Dagro. Dat Cajun. 8-7 killer win over Powerhouse Bethune-Cookman. So many of y'all got such a football mentality when you think about baseball. Like, teams lose baseball games. All teams lose baseball games. Did you see this week that number 1 Texas lost to Texas Southern of the SWAC? The number 1 team in the country that beat LSU last week in Houston lost to a SWAC school this week. It's comical to me when people who don't actually watch baseball or know anything other than LSU Gorilla Ball from the 90s try to talk about baseball. Like, anyway. Brandon, will we get lucky and see Drew and Dad show? Probably so. He's sitting right there. Hey, Drew, Drew, come see Daddy. Hey, Drew, come say hi to Dad's show. Drew, come say hi to Dad's show. Taz, that the family dog in the pic? If so, can you bring him on camera? No, so, well, it was. So, you can't see because that picture is like glossed out. But those, I had 2 boxers. When we got married, I had 2 boxers, and Erica had a Maltese. So, we had 3 dogs. They're all up in the big doggy pen in the sky. So, we don't have any more dogs. That was Valley. That was my old girl, Valley. Best dog ever. Let's see. Eric Waterrod are going to give the pivot a try. Which episode would you recommend to start? The pivot, by the way, is the show that Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor are doing, and it's absolutely incredible how they've blown up in 2 months. I mean, just go check out the YouTube channel, the Pivot, if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel, watch them. Start with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was great. They're all great. Darren Waller, Floyd Mayweather. They're all great. Start with Antonio Brown. Reed looked better in those 2 games. Hope he keeps it up. I mean, I keep saying this. Efton Reed is an NBA player. I know that LSU fans have kind of knocked him a bit this year, and justifiably so. Like, he has got to get stronger. I mean, that's not even debatable. Like, he has got to get stronger and more physical. But if you watch the game yesterday, there was a sequence in the first half where he hit a jumper from the elbow, and then he did the Kareem skyhook. I mean, he skyhook over. When you're 7 foot tall and you have that skill set, like, you are going to be drafted. You are going to play in the NBA. I mean, because there just aren't many humans that can do that. So there's going to be teams that will look at Jackson. Jackson Hayes was a top 10 pick because he has that skill set. Now, they haven't molded it into anything consistent, but he is an NBA player because of that physical ability. It's the same with Efton Reed. Like, he's absolutely got to improve. He's got to get tougher, all that stuff. But the NBA will draft you based on potential. That's why the NBA will draft high school kids. They're looking for a physical skill set. So, anyway, that's why Jabari Smith is going to be the #1 overall pick. Let's see. Merrick Mathern, good morning. Wherever Watson ends up, will he be suspended for any games? No. I mean, there were no criminal charges brought against him. Taz, better football atmosphere, LSU or Saints, college or NFL? College atmosphere is just always more passionate than an NFL atmosphere. It's not to say the NFL doesn't have great atmospheres, but there's something more organic about a college atmosphere in a venue. It's just the stadiums, especially in major venues, tend to be bigger. It's less corporate, even though that's become more of a thing in college venues. You have marching bands. You have like tradition, pregame tradition and pageantry. Like the LSU band doing the four corner salute is just infinitely better than the Saints players running out of a tunnel with smoke and flames going into the sky. It's just, you know, you're talking about 100 years worth of tradition versus what it is. Irfan Sayad, good morning. Dad Cajun, good morning. Carla Cat. Oh, Texas State, not Texas Southern, excuse me. I got my small school, so Texas State is in San Marcos. Either way, #1 Texas lost to a directional Texas school that I couldn't even remember which one it was, is the point. Kyle Milliken, their interview with AB was great. It was awesome. I mean, the fact that they get the people, the caliber they do on the pivot to answer questions as freely as they do is crazy. And RC told me they've got like, they got like 10 more episodes canned. I can give y'all, I guess, a little bit of a teaser. He did tell me, he's like, the one they did with Michael Beasley is incredible. So looking forward to that for sure. A little bit of a spoiler. Where are we? Arthur Coco. What does LSU need with scholarships that are left? Tight end. If they can get the offensive lineman from Vanderbilt, Steen, that would be awesome. I mean, he would be your starting left tackle immediately if you brought him in. And if you could bring in another cornerback, there's a starting caliber cornerback somewhere. Those would be my choices. Chance Babin. How risky is Watson, though? Might be a serial offender like Cecil Collins. I don't think it's risky. I mean, he was clear. Like, he's not. I said this yesterday at AFR. I don't know if y'all heard it, and I'm not an attorney. I obviously don't pretend to be anything like that. But I did, early in my career, I did news, and you all know, some of you know that. But there was a saying that in those circles that a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich. That was like the saying, meaning a grand jury will indict anything. Like, it takes very little to get an indictment from a grand jury, which basically means that you're going to bring charges and then there will be a legal proceeding. So for there not to be any, for the grand jury not to indict Deshaun Watson is, I mean, it's stunning. Like, it shows a stunning lack of evidence against him. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. And I get it. I know what most people say. Like, the cynical part of us is go, well, because he's a star athlete, blah, blah, blah. I mean, in theory, I get you, but the justice system shouldn't care about that. And again, this isn't, are you guilty or not guilty? This is a grand jury going to indict this person to proceed with legal charges? Like, someone who's got a legal background might be able to better explain that than I am right now. I just know that it takes a stunningly small amount of evidence to proceed, and to not even have an indictment from a grand jury means there's really just nothing there. Anyway. Brent, who's it got injured during the first during the pregame baseball? Was that huge loss? We'll leave it back. Oh, you're talking about Cade Beloso. And look, man, I mean, it was a knee injury for Cade. The will he be back is interesting. Because like we saw Elko from Ole Miss last season play on a torn ACL. He just kept clubbing homers and he would limp around the bases. Could Beloso do something like that? Could he DH on a torn ACL? Maybe. But I don't know. I mean, Joe Bear has kind of taken that role and seems like he's got a stranglehold on it. But Eugene Sutherland, Lattimore restructure, saves $18 million, team's $2 million over the cap. Cap hell remains a myth. Made possible by Loomis, Harley, Mrs. Benson, and the state. Who dat? Is it two? Because Eugene, we did talk about this already today. And I'm looking at Spotrac, and they've got him at $6 million over, $6.6 million over the cap. So if it is closer to 2, great. But Spotrac is showing 6.6 million over the cap still. So still a little work to do, but they'll get there. Brennan Thibodeau, why doesn't Collier Cranford get more opportunities while Jordan Thompson is struggling at the plate and slumping in the field? Because Jordan Thompson is capable of clubbing the game-winning home run in Houston against Oklahoma, and just a better option offensively than Cranford has been throughout his career. And we saw Thompson last year play a solid shortstop. But that's an option. I mean, if you want to go defense, you could put Cranford in there. I said it last week. If you just want to put a defensive lineup on the field, you could put Cranford at short, and you could put Cranford at short, you could put Gio in right, you could put Barry at third. Those are your options. Okay, I think we're just about done. Taz was looking at LSU basketball, never knew LSU never won a championship. Yeah, never done it in basketball. They made a Final Four like in 1935, or maybe they won a championship. They won a championship in 1935, I think, but it wasn't in tournament play like it is now. They went 14-1, and they won the. Yeah, they won, because they have a banner. I mean, they claim a 1935 championship. Let's see. They're playing outside. That's crazy. LSU is the only school that officially claims a national championship on the basis of a win in the American Legion Bowl, an event made no claim to determine a national championship. So there was pre-conference tournament. It was an external deal, but yeah, in the tournament era, LSU's never won. They made a Final Four in the 50s with Bob Pettit, and then they made 2 under Dale Brown, 81 and 86, and then John Brady in 06. All right, let's see. Who do you believe is the GOAT LSU Tiger of all time? Billy Cannon has held that mantra forever. I think Joe Burrow probably surpassed him. Brian Pike, Matt, when NFL players restructure, do they get an incentive to do so? Yes, they get paid up front. So if you restructure the deal, you basically convert salary into a signing bonus, so they get a big chunk of cash now, and they can lower the salary cap number and spread the signing bonus over the life of the contract. So yes, the benefit is they get all of their money now. And so basically you just have to have ownership that's willing to write that check now, right? That's the big difference. So guys don't have to wait to get their money. They just get it all in a lump sum now. All right, y'all. I think we might be just about done. See if I can get Drew in here, though. You can bet Bama would be counting the 35 championship. Darn right they would. Let me see if I can get Drew to come say hello real quick. Hang on. Before we go, let me see. Hey, Drew. Drew, you want to come say hi, Dad Show? Come say hi, Dad Show. Say hi, Dad Show. And then we will go get dressed and go fly Dad's car. Let's say hi, Dad Show. They want to see you. Everybody wants to say good morning, Drew. Like a sack of potatoes. Dead weight, bruh. All right. Okay. Look who we got. All right. Look who we got. Who do you see? Who do you see?
No.
Your hair looks like a porcupine. Who do you see? Who is that?
Daddy.
Daddy and Drew. You want to say hi to Dad Show? Say hi, Dad Show. Tell him hi. Say hi, Dad Show. Hey. Say hi, Dad Show.
Hi, Dad Show.
Oh, that was so sweet. You want to say have a good day?
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Here you go.
Hey.
There was his obligatory. Oh, going to look out the window, huh? What do you see? He's going to look for blowers. What do you see? Anything good? What do you see? Okay. All right. I think we're about done, y'all. Y'all have an awesome day. Thanks as always for watching. YouTube, if you would, smash that like button before you get out of here. Appreciate that so much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Huge help. Facebook, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. As always, we appreciate y'all greatly for being here. Have an awesome Saturday. Beautiful day. And we'll baseball at 2 o'clock today for LSU. Be tuned into that. And got some family coming over tonight. Should be fun. Good weekend, man. Good weekend. Y'all do the same. Thanks for being here. See y'all. Peace.